Alright YouTube, what's going on? Iceman back. And I've got a new knife video. It's been a while. Done a bunch of gun stuff lately. So I'm kind of combining a few knives in a video. Now really the 550 is not one of them. I've had that knife for a long time. If you watch my channel you've seen this beautiful carbon fiber scale that Rival did for me, and it's customized, you know, bronzed, and anodizing, polished, all that stuff. But the video is really about, not in particular any knife really, even though I'm going to highlight the Hogue EX01 and the Spyderco Tenacious, but it's kind of a discussion, a topic I've been thinking about, is knives that you just keep coming back to. And having been collecting knives for just a little over a year now, and I say collecting, I don't know if I'm a collector. Let's just say I've been enjoying the hobby for the last year. There's been certain knives that I've owned multiples of, sold them off, bought them again, sold them, bought them again. I think we've all done that before. So I bring up the 550 because this is one of them. I've owned, 3 or 4 of these this year. Well, not this year, and within the last year. And definitely keeping this one, not going anywhere ever. I mean, it's one of my favorite knives. So I've come back to it. I love it. I've kind of done the same thing with the Spyderco Tenacious. I've had, 4 of them. I've had 2 of the blue G10. I've had 2 of the, so 5 actually. I've had 2 of the blue G10 limited sprint runs. I've had 2 of these blacked out, and I've had 1 standard Tenacious that someone customized that had like bronze hardware and stuff. So let's talk about the Tenacious first. The Tenacious is an excellent budget folder. In my opinion, one of the best budget folders out there. I say budget folders because it's made in China, and it has 8CR13 MOV steel. So, you know, it costs $35–40 around there, but it's an excellent value folder, and it's really nice. I mean, the materials they use, some of the key things that for me that jump out. I really like the G10 on it. It's a nice G10. It's not too grippy, but it's got good grip. It's you know, a nice scale. A lot of knives in this price range are going to have FRN handles, or they're going to have like the GRN stuff on the Ontario Rat 1. Some of the Kershaws have that injected molded nylon type handles. So, you know, you get real G10 scales, which are really nice. You get this particular, the Tenacious has the liners, and I don't have the knife apart. I'm not sure if you can tell. Yeah, you probably can tell actually. Maybe not. It's hard to get the right angle, but the liners are drilled out, so to save weight. So they're stainless steel liners, but they are drilled out to lighten the knife a little bit. That's another feature that you don't usually see on knives at this price point. And one of the things that kind of amazes me the most is how many bronze washings this washers has. Not only does it have bronze washers, it has 4 of them. That's kind of crazy. So it makes for a very smooth deployment, very smooth knife overall. Honestly, the ergonomics on the Tenacious are perfect for me. It's like it fits my hand just right. The Para 2 is the pretty much the standard to measure Spyderco's by, and I find it just a tad long in the handle for me. The Tenacious is perfect. I would love if they made a Tenacious in a higher end steel, and I bet a lot of people would buy it. If they made it in Taiwan even, or Colorado, over in Golden, and they made it with a better steel like an S30, I think you'd have a huge seller. But, you know, this is their budget line. They've been really successful with that, so I don't see that happening. This is the all blacked out version, which looks really good. Everything's black. I mean, the liners, the screws, everything's just all blacked out. Looks really nice. I just got this one in a trade for an Ontario Rat 1. That's another great budget folder, but for me it's just a little too big in the handle. So I traded a guy straight across for this. It was a good trade. Very happy with it. I've been carrying it every day since I got it. And I've owned, like I said, this is my 5th one. So I think I can do a pretty good review on this knife, having owned so many of them. But highly recommend as a budget folder if you're looking for a Spyderco. And honestly, there's not very many Spydercos that excite me. I like the Para 2. I like the Gale Bradley, but it had some issues with the liner lock for me, disengaging the liner lock. The Sage series are nice knives. They're just a little small. So the Tenacious is actually, like I said, like the perfect knife for me, and it's kind of nice that it's only like or the perfect Spyderco for me, and it's only like 35-40 bucks. So wish I had better steel, but for your typical EDC tasks, I can handle the 8CR13. It also sharpens up very easily. So good knife. Come back to that one. Like I said, I own about 5 of these now. So the other one is the Hogue EX01. I just got this in today, actually, and I got an amazing price on this one. This is brand new in the box for $100. These usually go for MSRP is over $200. I was looking at these at Cabela's not too long ago, and they were over like $230, $240. I was like, whoa. For $100, it's a stupid good deal. I really like this knife. It's very ergonomic. I like the look of the knife. It's got a beautiful stone washed Tanto blade. They make it in 3.5 inch and in 4 inch. And I'm not gonna do. There's a lot of video reviews of the EX01. It's been out for a few years, so it's not like it's some new knife. But it's just one that I've come back to. I own one. I loved it. I sold it to pay for something else. Really regretted it. The button lock is awesome. This knife is buttery smooth. I mean, look at that. Out of the box. No lube, nothing on the pivot. Just so smooth. This is obviously the manual version. They do make an automatic version. And it does have the lock there that locks the blade, so you can't deploy the button lock, and it locks it in place. That's kind of, some people like that feature. I don't think I'd ever need it for my typical EDC tasks, but another knife that falls into that good EDC size. It's like perfect for my hand. And I love, like I said, I love the stone washing. It's beautiful. But I love this this aggressive Tanto. I mean, it's so cool with this swedge up here. It's such a cool looking blade. I mean, I think it's probably the best looking Tanto out there. And you've got some good jimping up here, way up here on this part of the blade, on this swedge here, or thumb ramp, whatever you want to call it. You also got some jimping here on the handles. And this is the aluminum OD green. This is, like I said, a 3.5 inch. They do make a 4 inch. And that's one thing I like, is that they made this model in a couple different sizes. They make it in aluminum, in green and black. They make it in that Damascus, they call it, green and black. So, and they make a Hogue EX03, I believe it's called. Yeah, I believe it's called the EX03, that has the cheaper. It's a little bit less expensive, and it has like a plastic handle. So they make a lot of different versions of this, but you can find these on the secondary market for pretty good prices. I mean, like I said, I paid $100 for this running box, so, and I was pretty stoked, because I wanted to get another one, but didn't want to pay too much for it. And I'm really glad, because it's got great ergos. It feels great in the hand. I think when I sold my original one, I was like on this titanium only kick, where I only had titanium frame locks and knives that had titanium, and I've kind of outgrown that, because I realized I was missing out on a lot of good knives just because they don't have titanium on them. So these really nice aluminum handles. They're soft. They're not too slick. They're pretty grippy, actually, for aluminum. Reminds me, it's probably about the same as the ZT770, which a lot of people find slick. So you may find it slick, but that's what the Damascus version's for, is you can get that grippier G10. So I like aluminum frames on knives. They're lightweight. This is an extremely lightweight knife, and I'll put the specs below. I'm not exactly sure how much it weighs off the top of my head. And I just like the feel of aluminum. It's nice, and it's nicer on your pockets. It doesn't tear up your jeans and stuff as much as G10 does. So the one thing I don't like about this knife is this spoon clip. What I've seen a lot of guys do is they actually just taper it down. It's kind of similar to the Les George VCP clip. And mine, the VCP I had, the previous owner had tapered that down, so it was more of a streamline, not the spoon look. And I'm curious, and if anyone knows, let me know if this will take, because it's got that same, or very similar 3-hole design to the Emerson, and if it'll take a steel flame clip or something like that. But I don't know, I might just deal with it, because I like the knife that much. It's just super smooth. I mean, how many knives can fall on themselves like that? And that's one advantage of the button lock. So, and it's just cool to have a different type of locking mechanism. It's not your standard frame lock or liner lock, So, and that is one thing I do like about the Tenacious over the Para 2, is I'm not a huge compression lock fan, just because I'd always pinch my fingers in it. I like the liner lock better. So I really wish Spyderco would listen and make, like, maybe if they made a sprint run of this knife with better steel. Because the sprint runs they've done on this knife have the same steel, they just have different colored G10 handles, which, whoopsie-doo, I'd rather have better steel. But definitely a couple knives that I've just owned multiples of, that I've come back to time and time again, and I hope to continue to keep these in my collection because they're just some of my favorite knives I've owned. If you haven't checked out the Hogue, if you've been on the fence, I mean, a lot of people on Tenacious that's an extremely popular knife, but if you haven't checked out the Hogue, definitely do it because I really enjoy it. I think it's the perfect EDC size. It's fun. The button lock's fun, and this knife is one of the most fun knives to play with. You can sit and flick it like this all day long. It's a solid lockup. There's no play, in the knife at all. That is one thing I will say about the Tenacious is that my other Tenaciouses have all developed blade play pretty easily from just flicking them open. And this one did as well, but I fixed it pretty easily. I just put some Loctite on the pivot, and it's been solid ever since. It hasn't moved. The key is, and I got to remind myself this too, is to leave the Loctite and let it sit and dry. Don't put Loctite on it and then sit there and open it and shut it because it's not really going to do the job. But if you let it sit, it's going to lock up, and it's there's no more blade play in that knife. So yeah, just kind of talking about knives we've come back to. I've owned a bunch of ZT560s, which I actually really think I'm done with that knife. Not that I don't like it, I absolutely love it. It's just too big. And I kept telling myself, I don't mind carrying a little bit big knife, but I've really found that I really found this sweet spot, and the 566 is the reason why I sold my 560 Blackwash, and why I'll probably never buy another 560s, because the 566 is perfect size for me. And the ZT801, I will say, if you're looking for a titanium frame lock that's smaller than the 560, the 801 is perfect. It's got the same bearings, it's got the same steel, it's titanium, not like a steel frame lock like the 566. So, alright guys, I think that's it. I just wanted to talk about the EX01 a little bit and how much I dig this knife and how much I really love it. I was going to do a separate review on each of these knives, but I just decided to combine them and kind of talk about knives that you've come back to, and feel free to leave some comments and let me know what knives you've sold and bought, sold, just kept bringing them back in because you were fond of them. So I hope to keep this one around for a while, and especially at the price I got it at, I can't beat it. So alright guys, hope you have a good happy Thanksgiving, a good holiday break, and we'll see you next time.